guess where I'm at? I'm back here in Jersey at the Fish Hut in New Jersey, picking up the new Discus. Let's go. Look at these studs. Oh man, look at that, beautiful. I'm gonna get some guys from this tank, maybe a couple from this one. Some more blueies over here. On our way back to New York with the new Discus. Can't wait to get these guys into the quarantine. Let's do it.
Later.
The wait is over. Time for the new Discus to join the rest of the family in the 150. That's right guys, my last set of 6 Discus that I picked up over at the Fish Hut of New Jersey have been in quarantine for the last couple of weeks. I see no signs of disease, no signs of stress. They're doing really well. So they're gonna go into the 150 with everybody else. I am in the middle of doing a water change. You might be asking why I add them during the water change. No specific reason at all. It's just my midweek water change day. So I figured I might as well add them in at the same time as I do the water change. The water in the 150 is going to match perfectly with the water in their 20-gallon quarantine tank. The only difference is that this new water that I'm going to add in the 150 has less nitrates in it. So I'd really rather add them to water with less nitrates than more. That's why I chose to do today, water change day.
Okay.
In case you were wondering, I'm using my 800-gallon-per-hour Vivicin pump to drain this tank, only because it requires a smaller hose, and the smaller hose is a lot easier to pull out and wrap it up at the end of the water change. It's not gonna drain as fast as my 2600-gallon-per-hour pump, but I'm only doing about a 50% water change. It's gonna drain fast enough. So let's scoop them up one by one, get them into the 150, and then we'll talk about some facts that you should know if you want to keep some Discus. Let's see who's the lucky first one.
Gotcha! Whoa, hey guys.
Last but not least. Okay, got them all in. They look great, super quick and easy, but I have to mention something. Every time that you add new fish to your tank, especially when adding multiple fish, you're going to increase the bioload of your tank. What does that mean? That means that those new fish are going to create ammonia, more ammonia than your tank has been capable of handling. That increase in ammonia means that you have to grow new, more beneficial bacteria to handle that increase in ammonia. So what do we do every time? I like to dose prime to take care of any added ammonia that's gonna come from the new fish. And I also dose with stability, which will help in boosting the beneficial bacteria production while the tank kind of reestablishes itself with this new bioload level. Let's do it. Prime gets dosed at the entire water volume of the tank, which is 150 gallons, which is 15 milliliters. Give or take a few. Which you should be adding prime anyway during a water change for dechlorination. And for stability, I dose the whole 30 milliliter cup right into the tank. Keep in mind that you're gonna wanna continue the prime and stability every day after adding new fish to a tank, this many fish, this size of fish, just to make sure that there aren't any ammonia problems in your tank. Keep an eye on ammonia spikes, make sure that your tank remains cycled. After the first couple of days, then you don't have to do it anymore, but just be on the safe side. All right, let's get this tank filled up and then we'll talk some Discus facts.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening.
While the tank is filling up, a couple of Discus facts. Now I promise later in the future, I will come out with more Discus detailed videos for you guys. But real quick, one of the most important things for Discus is low pH soft water. How low? Under 7.0, somewhere around 6.8. Now this is very typical for wild caught Discus. You do want to keep your pH that low. But most of us are not going to keep wild caught Discus. We're going to keep tank raised, store-bought Discus, just like the ones that I got. And these guys do absolutely well in a more neutral range, somewhere around 7.0, even above that. My source water is around 7.3 pH, and I keep them in exactly what the source water is. It's much more important to keep them in stable pH than trying to lower it, because Discus is supposed to be kept in a lower pH. What I would worry about more is the temperature. Discus require higher temps, somewhere around 84 to 86 degrees. I'm keeping my tank right in the middle sweet spot, 85 degrees. That is something that they absolutely do well in, those higher temps. You're gonna get their colors coming out more. You'll get a lot less of that black peppering around their face and their fins. Next very important thing to keep in mind is that Discus require very clean, very pristine water, which is why I do 2 water changes a week now on this tank, because you gotta keep the nitrates low. How low? I would say somewhere at maximum 20 parts per million of nitrates or lower. If you could get them lower, that's even better. But with that being said, I'm having problems keeping my tank at 20 parts per million or lower. I'm probably reaching around 40 parts per million, even with 2 water changes a week. One 80% water change, one 50% water change, but they're still doing pretty well. So the jury's still out on how well they do long term in higher nitrates. Right now, I'm doing what I need to do to keep those nitrates as low as possible. As you saw last week, I even added some live plants, which I'd never kept before, hoping that the live plants will help and reduce those nitrates as well. And last but not least, Discus are very timid fish, kind of shy, and you don't want to keep them with any aggressive fish whatsoever. If they feel any type of aggression, they're gonna get stressed, and any levels of stress are going to really harm your Discus. They need to be stress-free to get those good colors, to grow well, and continue eating well. With those quick facts being said, let me say this. It is widely known in the hobby that Discus are very difficult fish to keep.
Are you serious?
Why? I guess it's just because they require more maintenance. They're not for the beginner, because beginners are already having a tough time adjusting to how much maintenance is required in this hobby. And with Discus, it's up a notch. It's higher, a little higher level of maintenance. Like I said, I doubled up my water changes. Really, that's pretty much it. That's like the most that I've done differently since keeping these Discus, is worrying about those nitrate levels and keeping them low. So as long as you do that, as long as you keep up with your husbandry and you up it a notch when keeping Discus, I think you'll be fine with Discus. Also, as you can see right over my shoulder, they're all huddling together, including Flaco Dos over there, who does not bother them at all. If you've had some misconceptions about arowanas are not aggressive fish. They're actually very timid as well, maybe just as much as the Discus. They're very jumpy, they get scared easily, they don't want no parts of any aggression, they don't want to get into fights, they don't chase fish around. So Flaco Dos is hanging out, doing well with the Discus. Perfect tank mates. Hope you guys enjoyed that. More Discus content is coming in the near future, but for now, watch this video right here. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it. And if you're a beginner in the hobby, check that video out right there. I'm sure it's gonna be helpful for you. See you on the other side. Peace.